Greetings, fellow gamers. Gid here with a walkthrough of one of the two most difficult friendship discs to complete at level 80 in Update 1.3. They said it couldn't be done. Well, I hadn't actually heard that. Anyway, I present Quorra and Eve. Thanks for checking in. If you enjoyed the vid, please click that like button, and please share this with our fellow Disney Heroes battlers who may not know of this channel. Quorra has discovered through Eve that books exist in the digital realm known as the City. What starts as a quest to comfort herself in this strange place transforms into Quorra wanting to open a library for all to enjoy. Unfortunately, it just isn't that easy, as creeps soon rear their ugly heads to purge this greatest of errors. This video covers all the walls I experienced. Part 5 of Episode 6, Part 5 of Episode 7, and all 5 parts of Episode 8, with Part 3 and 5 being the worst in Episode 8. This video details my journey through this most difficult of campaigns. Please let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this disc. I started on this disc because it seemed more beneficial for Quorra than her Buzz disc, and being one of the first discs you are exposed to in patch 1.3, why not? I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. This disc took a long time to complete, over a week of exhausting my friendship stamina daily. It starts out easy, sure. However, by the end of Episode 6, it ramps up quickly, landing you in a crazy RNG hell by Episode 8, Part 5. Hero Focus. The hero team you'll be working with is Quorra, Eve, Zerg, Buzz, and Mike. This team is defense light and offense heavy. It really showcases Quorra's playstyle, and I feel she is the answer to a very specific friendship campaign issue. The name of the game is be aggressive and wipe out the waves of creeps as fast as possible. It's all you got. The hero power levels, badges with enhancements, and disc powers at the completion of Episode 8, Part 5 is as you see it. All heroes rocked max skills at level 80. Now let's get to it. Episode 6, Part 5, Level 88 3-star P3 Creeps. The first wall I experienced. Wave 1, Ralph, Nick, and Captain Jack. If you aren't already an expert in the use of Quorra and PvE, you will be after spending time on her friendship discs. Say what you want about RNG and getting the right scenario, there is definitely a way to further optimize your play when you finally get to that right scenario. Some waves require a creative approach to pass, and some waves you'll auto right through. Like all wall stages, this one took many attempts. To complete it, I first removed Buzz from my lineup. This was to change the targets for the creeps and to alter the rate active skill energy is generated. Your active skill energy goes up the more damage you take and by the damage you do. I needed to affect the rate the creeps gained energy as well as my own heroes. Most of these stages feature ridiculous Wave 1s designed to take Quorra out. Simply because, if Quorra can survive through Wave 1 with an active skill in the bank, you can most likely complete the stage. True story. Quorra is amazing, but she has very low defense and needs to build that first energy bar without getting KO'd. Captain Jack is the biggest threat in Wave 1. He likes to use his active skill right at the end of the fight while being KO'd at the same time. His active is slow to activate, and the fight is over once all creeps have been knocked out. So in order to prevent Quorra from getting knocked out herself, you can either turn on auto, or in my case, press the advanced screen arrow on manual as soon as you see it. Then you can advance to the next wave without taking extra damage from Jack's delayed Black Pearl attack. It's a parting gift that you don't want. Wave 2, Rex, Jesse, Calhoun, and Purple Mage. A word of caution, if you have Eve's Wally disc or Quorra's Buzz disc, be mindful there are a few Rex creeps throughout the campaign. You probably don't want to do anything involving extra shields. Use your active skills right away. If you can get Quorra charged up for the next wave in the process, great. If not, hopefully you can charge up in Wave 3 without getting knocked out. Wave 3, Sully, Dash, Jack, and Yax. This team has troublesome damage as well as healing. Use the active skills as fast as you can, and the fight should be over before they know it. Episode 7, Part 5, Level 88, 4-star, P3 Creeps. I found Episode 7 to be smooth sailing until this next wall. Wave 1, Rex, Captain Jack, and Dash. Contrary to my previous suggestion, I decided to use the Wally disc on Eve to fight Rex quite a few times throughout this campaign. But I do eventually switch back to the Calhoun disc, so just don't be afraid to try it out if you want. I dropped my lineup down to 3 heroes again, including Flimsy Zurg. From here, you can control the timing of Sparrow's active and get through the wave before the Pearl's cans blast you to bits. You'll notice on my clear wave, I don't pop Zurg's special and let him take the KO. This is because if I use his special, Sparrow will pop his active earlier than the end of the fight, and we can't have that. Wave 2, Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, Jack, and a Purple Mage. Well, that's it. Game over. This is the worst Incredible team ever. Except you have Quorra. And Quorra in most cases eliminates the usual RNG mess that fighting the Incredibles entail. Why? Because she goes full prison rules. Quorra looks for the biggest creep in the room and uses their size against them, all thanks to her passive skill, Grid Power, which causes each hit of her active skill to do bonus damage equal to 10% of her target's max hit points, with reduced effects against targets of higher level than 80 currently. I'm not sure what that reduction actually is. She still destroys Mr. Incredible's incredible hit point pool, faster than any fight you've had with him to date. It's amazing, and pretty much makes him seem like a regular threatening creep as opposed to how he's been built up to this point. Use those actives and don't let Elastigirl one-shot you. Wave 3, Sully, Bogo, Dash, and Jack. Again, on paper, a super threatening team. They need to be knocked out as quickly as possible. I'm rolling with 2 heroes, and with Quorra and Eve, all things are possible. Use those active skills as fast as you can. That's all there is to it. Damage. This was a sloppy clear. I could have done it more smoothly, but I overused Quorra's special in the early waves, and so you want to always try and carry her active skill over. I'll explain why soon. Episode 8, Part 1, Level 91, 4-star, P3 Creeps. Wave 1, Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and Nick. I thought after how Episode 7 Part 5 was, they'd cut me a break in Episode 8. Nope, no breaks. Quorra's one weakness is not being able to get her active skill charged up, and Elastigirl can make that happen with her one-shot KOs. Watch for good RNG. Her not targeting Quorra, Buzz force caging her, that kind of thing. Wave 2, Rex, Sparrow, Jessie, and Judy. I lost Quorra and Zurg and pressed on anyway. Don't count on Zurg. He is knocked out through the majority of this campaign. I start with Buzz's active, followed by Mike's. The trick with Mike is try to wait until after he tosses that big yellow canister before using his special. You're hoping some creep gets scared so his active can crit them. Wave 3, Felix, Dash, Woody, and a Purple Mage. A lot of healing. I use the actives in the same order as Wave 2. Felix is scared and takes a big hit. After Mike knocks out the majority of them, Woody was no problem. Episode 8, Part 2, Level 93, 4-star, P3 Creeps. Wave 1, Ralph, Vanellope, and Jack. I was knocked out a handful of times trying to conserve active skills, my own fault. I dropped to 4 heroes, went back up to 5, put it on auto, and Buzz's active skill triggering made a huge difference. All heroes are up and ready for Wave 2. In Wave 2, Mr. Incredible, Woody, Nick, and Calhoun. I start with Zurg's active skill. Next, I use Quorra's, and the fight is over in just 6 seconds. What Mr. Incredible? Sadly, Buzz gets taken out by Nick's last-ditch popsicle throw. Wave 3, Rex, Bogo, Dash, and a cannon. This one is simple. If you have actives, use them. Zurg and Mike finish the wave again in 6 seconds. This team is amazing if it gets wound up. So much crazy damage. Speaking to that, if you're wondering why I choose the Sully disc for Mike over, say, the Jack disc, I prefer the skill power. I know the chance of a stun landing from Eve and lasting is slim to none, but that extra skill power is fantastic, no pun intended, which is great for his special attack. Episode 8, Part 3, Level 96, 4-star P3 Creeps. This stage was a huge wall, and victory here was hard fought. Wave 1, Bogo, Captain Jack, and Elastigirl. Definitely a troublesome lineup. Any wave where Captain Jack starts the fight so far has been a wall. And this time, there's Elastigirl. I've had success before, and I wanted to beat the Pearl's cannons yet again, so my first strategy was focusing on trying to make that happen. After many attempts of switching to smaller teams and changing my combos, I noticed an instance where Zurg was able to fire his cannon. This was a change, so I decided to go and remove Zurg's disc for my next attempt. When I did that, I'm not sure if it was that act alone, however, I had excellent RNG with Jack's active skill, and Quorra took no damage thanks to Eve's shield. Definitely the break I had been looking for. Wave 2, Mr. Incredible, Yax, Jack, and Calhoun. The kind of team you're happy to have Quorra for. There's heals, shields, Mr. Incredible, and of course that Jack damage. Hopefully you have at least Quorra's active skill ready to go. Okay, now I can finally explain a little strategy to using Quorra. You may have noticed that not only do I have auto off, at times I also have battle speed off. This is because Quorra is so aggressive, she can get a jump start on the creeps. When her light cycle attack is doing its first pass, there is a moment where you can activate Quorra's disc spin. Yep, you guessed it. Slow down the action, drop Quorra into the middle of the creeps, and get a jump start on knocking them out while they are still walking into combat. This is useful to know for your PvE use of Quorra. That early damage can eliminate creeps and end the fight quickly. It does leave her vulnerable to creeps that don't get knocked out, who can answer back with quick attacks. But more often than not, using her active during the light cycle animation has gotten me through a ton of fights with Quorra. If this is new to you, try it out. Wave 3, Sully, Rex, Yax, and Jack. This team is quite brutal. If you haven't noticed yet, Rex has become very strong in friend campaigns at higher level. Although not as bad as Wave 1, this wave was still a problem that required a good scenario to overcome. On the clear, I lost Quorra early. I popped Mike's active skill right away, then Buzz's. The damage knocked out the back row. Fortunately, Buzz trapped Sully in the force cage. When Rex returned to the screen, I used Buzz, then Eve's active skills, and that was enough to finally win the stage. Episode 8, Part 4, Level 99, 4-star P3 Creeps. Wave 1, Sully, Felix, and Judy. This team doesn't do a whole lot of damage. The force cage prevented Felix from healing and from using his special attack. I was able to use basic attacks to charge my active skills. Wave 2, Ralph, Bogo, Wally, and Jack. I had a bit of a hiccup here trying to conserve my active skills. On my clear attempt, I only needed to use Zurg's skill, then Buzz and Quorra. This time, no problems. Wave 3, Mr. Incredible, Ralph, Jesse, and Jack. You should have most of the team ready to go. Use those active skills. Drop Quorra into the creeps on her first pass of the light cycle and get it down to Mr. Incredible, and then keep using those actives. Even if your controls don't stick, you should have him knocked out in no time. Episode 8, Part 5, Level 102, 4-star P3 Creeps. This massive wall took well over a week to find the right scenario. I was so close so many times, and I can't even count the amount of friend stamina this took. Wave 1, Bogo, Rex, and a purple mage. This lineup looks easy enough. Unfortunately, if it's not Jack Sparrow, it's a purple mage and they're healing. But before I get into that, this is where I learned that level 102 Rex does over 100,000 damage to your team. Move over Mr. Incredible. These 3 creeps had me thinking it wasn't even possible to get off the ground with this stage at level 80. The general number 1 rule is Quorra must live. and I wasn't seeing that happen. But I kept trying, and finally, while switching up to smaller teams of heroes, I started to see my heroes staying up longer, and finally creeps getting KO'd. That gave me some hope, and I was able to build on that. So, regarding that purple mage, they stand so far back in the lineup, it is generally out of harm's way from your AoE attacks and such. And until you figure out how to deal with Bogo and Rex, it'll just keep healing and healing and healing. Zerg was 100% a write-off this stage, yet you need to keep him in the lineup. This is so Buzz or some other hero doesn't become the focus of Rex's knockout headbutting. The best RNG I found to get through Wave 1 is like what you'll see in my clear. You don't want Rex getting pushed back by Buzz or force caged, and you don't want Rex headbutting and flailing his tiny T-Rex arms until the end of time. Watch for Rex to gain his active early and run through the screen. The timing will be right if he does this, and Buzz and Quorra don't get knocked out. Rex triggered his active at about 1 minute 24 seconds into the fight for me, so watch for that kind of timing. When Rex returns, use Buzz's active skill as you need him off the screen. More importantly, you need Buzz and Quorra's specials to activate as close as possible without the purple mage getting healing off on Rex. Resist the temptation to use Quorra's active more than once. You want as many active skills, and especially hers, ready for Wave 2. Wave 2, Bogo, Jessie, Elastigirl, and Woody. If you can drop Quorra in the middle of the group, do it. Else, use her active skill as soon as it charges. Also pop the rest of your team's active skills as soon as they're available. Don't worry about scare or disable synergy, you just want to get the damage out. There isn't a lot of time before these creeps start taking your team apart. I ended with a well-placed disc spin, wiping out the heavily injured creeps and recharging Quorra's energy. Wave 3, Mr. Incredible, Rex, Jack, and a purple mage. The final part of RNG hell. Even if everything has gone completely right, it can still fall apart here. Mr. Incredible and Rex will be as nasty as they've ever been. You want high damage crits, controls to stick, all the RNG you know and love. On my clear, only Quorra had her active ready at the start of the wave. Usually when I arrived at this wave, most of the team had actives primed. I dropped Quorra into the group closer to the back row. Timing is everything. The positioning allowed Rex to walk back towards her, where I was able to KO him after using an active I gained from knocking out Jack and the purple mage. Buzz landed a force cage here. Every time an active skill comes up, use it. Remember, don't waste any actives during Mr. Incredible's invulnerability. I used Quorra's active before Mr. Incredible jumped to the back row, and then all other active skills came up and I popped them off quickly. Quorra even was able to use her disc throw due to Mr. Incredible's jump. And with the whole team a second away from being knocked out, Mr. Incredible was finally dropped. And there you have it. After some ridiculously hard-fought battles, the library is finally open for business. In friend campaigns, we often talk about RNG, scenarios, number games, and yes, all those are factors. I found in this campaign, it also helped to use some strategic thinking. Like I've said before, when you finally get that good scenario or that lucky scenario, that's when you can apply your strategy to clear it. Being able to recognize that you have a good scenario is also important. And remember, if a friend campaign level isn't going the way you want and you've already spent a few friend stamina on it, just close the app, walk away for a couple hours, and try it again later. I wish everyone the best of luck who's pursuing this disc. It is possible at level 80. And that concludes this walkthrough. Fellow gamers, please like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. This video skipped the queue, but we'll be back on track soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, keep on gaming.